Welcome, one and everyone, to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I am your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn, here as always with my suspenders set to maximum stun. We've got a great show for you today, and by we, I mean me. There's a lot of Fallout 4 news, which we will be getting into. I've been practicing my Overwatch skills, so who knows, maybe we'll try some new classes today, and maybe I won't be in utter disappointment. We'll find out. It's totally possible, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the new Vault Tech workshop is scheduled to be released on the 26th. That's in 5 days. So this time next week, you will already be inundated by a flood of new Vault Tech workshop Oxhorn content. I, for one, am really excited about that. I can't wait to share Vault Tech workshop with you, but we've also got news about Nuka World. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of good stuff today. The Bancy Fadger is in the chat today and says, cheers, Oxhorn. Over17 says, got any training done with McCree? No, I have not gotten any training done with McCree. I've actually been playing that dual-wielding stealth guy with the shadows and the teleporting. Yeah, you know, I'm so good at this game. I've got all the heroes down by name. Cigar. Right, let's smoke. And La Aurora Corojo today. Sounds good. Reaper. Thank you, Madman Max. Reaper. And I do, you know, I don't need to be reminded about these things. I was just testing you all. That's the way these things go, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Rees is in the chat and says, I saw the banana swords. It is stuck in the holy shirts awaiting their heroes. I should probably understand the context of people's comments before I just read them. That's probably a smart thing to do. Austin Kzaja says, cool Vault Tech, take my money. Yeah, I'm excited about the Vault Tech DLC. That's going to be a lot of fun. The Movie Making Bros says, hey there, Oxhorn, how's my classy man doing on this fine day? I'm doing very well, and it is a fine day here in Seattle. It's really hot. I don't know what the temperatures are, but here I am in my office. I've got an entire wall missing. I've got all my windows open, and I'm still blazing hot in this heat. But you know what? I can't complain. Some people are freezing in Antarctica. By people, I mean penguins. Oh, man. Theater Style says, Oxhorn, my man, say cool whip. I've been reading everybody's comments. Apparently, not only do I sound like Tom Hanks, but apparently I say Cool Whip like Stewie from Family Guy. But listen to me. Listen, listen. The word is spelled W-H-I-P. The H is not silent. It is pronounced it's a combination W and H sound combining to create the sound. So when I say Cool Whip, I am saying it the appropriate way that a North American English speaker says the word Cool Whip. Just putting that out there for the record, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the wind. Oh, wind, you bane of my existence! Cigar Ox reminds us all that next week is the 7th anniversary of Oxhorn's 30th and Oxhorn's 35th birthday show. I have to do something, don't I? Man, birthdays are no fun when you have to plan it yourself. I don't want to set up a party. It's kind of like setting up a party for yourself. It just robs the joy. A Giant Pie says, do you pronounce what? Like what? No, I don't pronounce I don't pronounce whip like whip. I pronounce it whip. What? Whatever. Wellington, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense, ladies and gentlemen. Austin Kazaja says, Oxhorn, can I has your beard? Yes, you can has my beard. I shall gift it to you upon my demise. That's a joke. I don't want a bunch of lawyers coming to me when I'm 90 years old saying, one day in 2016, you willed your beard to Austin Kazaja. So we're taking this now. Yeah, sorry, no. Taking it back. Taking it back. This is live on television. Well, live on the internet. Chief Smash says, good evening, classy ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to have you on the program, Chief Smash. And now he's saying, do you pronounce white as wahite? What? Why would... No, I do not pronounce it wahite. I pronounce it white. Oh, he's saying, would you pronounce white? Gotcha. No, because there's an entirely different word for white. Like the Isle of Wight. You wouldn't call it the Isle of Wight. But your logic makes sense because you wouldn't pronounce whip. You'd pronounce it whip. Why I'm not having this conversation with you, ladies and gentlemen. This is not happening. Big Stacks 2 says knife. Yeah. Imagine Justin says, will we have Skype calls on the anniversary show, Oxhorn? Quite possibly. We did that last year, and it was a rousing success. Everybody seemed to like it. Nerd Rage says, what is Scotch and smoke rings? You're right.
Welcome here to Bethesda Game Studios.
What?
It's amazing to think it has only been a year
I hate
since you
this.
first heard about Fallout 4 at this very event. And thanks to you, it became not just our most popular game ever, but one of the industry's. It has simply blown us away, and we're incredibly blessed to have fans like you. Seeing what you've created, not just in the main game with the add-ons and of course mods, it is just...
Thank you. Gosh. That was annoying. I hate it when websites do that. Now I have to find a way to launch it again and to open the browser tabs. There we go. Restore closed windows. That's what I wanted to do. Sorry, I was in the middle of talking, wasn't I, when I was rudely interrupted by a Bethesda employee, wasn't I? Todd. Yes, Todd Howard. Cordell Reese says, Oxford, what will you have expect workshop and settlement-wise in Nuka World? I am expecting new settlements in Nuka World, but I don't know which ones. Or I don't know how many. I mean, I do think that the majority of the settlements, and I know for a fact that the majority of the settlements that you can get, you already have. I'm expecting Nuka World will have 1, maybe 2 new settlements. Because you have to remember, it's not like you're discovering a brand new island. You're discovering a theme park. And it's possible that maybe you could take over a portion of that theme park, but I doubt. Nerd Rage says you never answer. Yeah, that's right, I got distracted. You did ask a question. Let me see if I could scroll up and find... I can't scroll up anymore. YouTube is blocking the rest of your comments, so sorry about that. He asked something, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Anyway, I'm expecting at least 1 really cool settlement from Fallout 4. Nuka World Fallout 4. Imagine Justin says, that scared me. I thought it was a message from the president for a second. Why is it called Scotch and Smoke Rings? That's right. That's what he asked me. It's called Scotch and Smoke Rings because typically we blow smoke rings and drink scotch on this show. But I have yet to pour the scotch, so here we go. Oh, and I'm almost out. There was barely enough left for 1 glass. Well, so long, Glenn Cullen, aged 10 years. Mwah. You were good to me. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen, bottoms up. The Hairy Yeti, nice name, says, hey Oxhorn, long-time watcher, first-time speaker. First found you from your machinima videos. Just wanted to say, love your streams and stay classy. Well, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to have old school Oxhorn fans on the program. Those of you who grew up or otherwise watched my World of Warcraft videos back in the day, pleasure to have you. Gamma says 20,000 subs coming. Incoming. That's true. I'm getting up there. A couple weeks ago, we were at 15,000. And now we're at like 19,500 and something. I don't know. We're getting close to the 20,000 mark, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm excited, and it's all thanks to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your views and your subscriptions. Cigar says he got a glass this time. No more drinking from the bottle. Yes, I can't. No more censoring myself while I take a sip live on the program. Oh, Gamma says it's 19,976. Holy cow, wow. That grew fast. Who knows, maybe we'll flip over to 20,000 during the show. That's exciting. Cheers, ladies and gents. Storm K7 says, Oxhorn, thank you for your mod list. I'm very inspired by your creative videos. You just got a new Brazilian sub. Well, thank you very much. That absolutely thrills me, Storm K. Hey, Imagine Justin just subscribed for 8 months in a row. Thank you, Imagine Justin. Kudos to you, good sir. Great to have more Brazilians on the program. In my day job, we actually have an entire office in Brazil, and I'm hoping one of these days really soon to be able to go and visit my Portuguese-speaking brethren. Madman Max says, wait, Oxhorn, do I see a touch of gray in your beard? And Cigar Ox says, that's what 2 kids will do to you. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It seems like 2013 hit. No, 2014 hit, and I went from this majestic, youthful, nutty auburn color to like, bam, gray. If I were to lift up my beard, you would see a nest of gray beard hair under here. So I don't know what's going on. You turn 34, you turn 35, and then suddenly it's like the gray goblin hits you with a hammer. Bam, you're gray. Oh, I'm going gray. I'm getting old, ladies and gentlemen. Gregoron Blackbane says, hey, Oxhorn. Hey, Greg. The pre-expansion pack came out, which brought forth neat features and odd changes. Surely your classy persona can inspire those suffering from the nerf hammer. I assume you're talking about Overwatch. And that reminds me, I need to get my Battle.net. Man, that's like the beginning to a rap. Battle.net. I need to get my Battle.net up so that I can download any patches. But you're talking about the new Raven? Is that her name in Overwatch? I've been playing a lot more Overwatch, actually. I'll probably play a good 20 to 30 minutes every night this last week, just for fun. Yeah, I don't have to... Anna, not Raven, Anna. I don't have to download any patches. That's great. Anyway, I've been playing the new patch, and Anna's pretty interesting. She puts me to sleep a lot, especially when I play Bastion. She just tears me up when I play Bastion. So it'll be an interesting night tonight. After the show ends and we go on to play Overwatch, it'll be interesting. Preston Garvey is in the chat today. Hey there, Preston. Guess what? There's some settlers that need some help. He says, what are the chances of you drinking Hennessy Irish whiskey with me in the castle? Good sir, we can sit down in the castle and we can toast to the fortunes of the Minutemen. Cheers to you. I don't have any Hennessy Irish, though I would love some. I have some Glen Cullen Scotch right now, but cheers to you anyway. Bottoms up. Sorry, for those of you who are new to the program, I have a chat bot in both the Twitch and the YouTube chats, and it temporarily mutes people who use all caps, who post too frequently, who just otherwise abuse the chat system. So just be careful when you're typing. Sometimes it gets the wrong people, so my apologies in advance. Wow, Gamma is on a roll. Gamma is watching my subscriber count live and reporting back as things improve. We gained 1 subscriber in the past 5 minutes. Hey, I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep it going. Daniel Reyes says, what was your first time smoking a cigar like? Preston Garvey says, puke everywhere. There are many people who have that experience. In fact, I've had some people on the program. Greg, who's in the chat, he had his first cigar on this program, but thankfully he didn't puke. DJ Autumn is now following. Thanks, DJ Autumn. He didn't puke, not live on camera anyway, so thankfully for that. But I've had friends I've introduced cigars to, and they puke. Now, for me, when I had my first cigar, thankfully, I read up on it. I'm one of those guys, before I buy an iPhone, before I buy a computer, before I spend any money whatsoever, I do, like, hours of research, right? So before I smoked... Whoa, BattleNet is just freaking out. Before I smoked my first cigar, I read up on all these guides on how to smoke a cigar, how to enjoy your first cigar smoking experience. So the first one I did, I think I bought a Romeo y Julieta. It was, I went to a cigar shop where it had been in a humidor for a long time, so it was well aged and it was a nice, smooth smoke. So my first experience was actually really fairly enjoyable, so I can't complain. Wow, looks like Overwatch is downloading a patch right now. What the heck? I made sure that this was up to date. Gosh, it's downloading 140 megabytes. Sorry if the stream starts to hiccup a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Did I lose? No, there we go. Phew. For a minute there, I thought I lost one of the streams. Oh, Greg Hartung is correcting me. He says that he had his first Scotch when he was on Scotch and Smoke Rings, but he had a stogie long before the show. Okay, thank you for the correction there, Greg Hartung. Imagine Justin says, hey there, Oxron, I've been having this question roam in my head for a while. Are you in need of any new mods for the Twitch channel? Now, probably. I haven't added any new mods recently, but I'm always on the lookout for new mods. Seth says, thought I'd swing by before work. Love what you do, man. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Esmer2Dragon is in the YouTube chat. Good to see you again, Esmer. Greetings, Sir Oxhorn, says Esmer. Have you gotten caught up in this Pokemon Go thing, asks Esmer. No, I mean, I've got respect for it. I've got no hate for it. I've never been a big Pokemon person, mainly because it was a little after my time. Well, actually, the fans corrected me last week when I said this. I said that I graduated from high school in the year 2000, so I missed the entire Pokemon craze. But apparently, Pokemon came out in, like, 1996 or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, it was the thing that all of the kids younger than me did in school, so I never really got into it. But I have great respect for people who are going outside of the house and playing their games and having fun with their communities and getting all sorts of healthy. All right, we have recorded messages on the program today. First on the show is Madman Max. What would you like to say, good sir? The floor is yours.
Greetings, Oxhunters. I'm Madman Max here once again to bring you another wonderful question. 3 seconds, haha. Today's 2 questions. 2 questions, count them. 1, 2. BlizzCon, are you getting the virtual ticket and the loot box, which comes with a stein, which will more than likely become your next drinking vessel, Woo! Which is marvelous and massive, and it's mind-blowing. And the other question is a bit of lore. Malfurion and Cenarius created an axe for an orc in a parallel time. Who was the orc? And why was this axe... Well, I'm going to tell you why the axe is so significant. It held back the Legion from entering our world during the first invasion of the Legion. It was marvelous. He carved a wound into Argarus' leg and died in battle, and it should be a warrior weapon for the next expansion, but I can't bear to think of the rage. Have a lovely evening, enjoy your delicious Scotch, Oxhorn.
Well, thank you, Imagine Justin. I've got his face in my head. I just can't put a name to it. Starts with a G. Doesn't it start with a G? The brother. He was the brother of... Or the son of somebody? I'm so bad at Warcraft lore. I really am. I love the game. I never got super into the lore. I mean, I know a bit of it. Really, the Warcraft game where I really paid attention to the lore was Warcraft 3. When it came out, oh man, I was all about Warcraft 3. I made maps. I was all about the lore. When World of Warcraft came out, I was paid more attention to the gameplay rather than the lore. So, I guess that's no excuse. I should probably know this one. The Bancy Fetcher says you're thinking Grom. Yes. Grom Hellscream. That's right. Is that right? Imagine Justin says that was Madman Max, not me, Oxhorn. I didn't send a voice today. That's right. Sorry about that. I'm getting everything mixed up. That was Madman Max. Thank you for that, Madman Max. Next on the program is Andy the DK. What is on your mind, good sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Scotch Watch. And now, here is your host, Andy the DK.
Greetings, heroes, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Scotch Watch, where I, your faithful host, Andy the DK, quiz our bearded friendly host, Mr. Oxhorn, on 2 Overwatch questions and 1 Scotch question. Shall we introduce him now? Here he is, Mr. Oxhorn. Hello, Ox. Hope you are ready for tonight's Scotch Watch questions.
I'm ready.
Hopefully you are ready to become the ultimate Scotch Watch hero.
Let's do it.
Let's find out with question number 1. Question number 1, Ox. What is the name of the secret organization formed by Overwatch that was led by Gabriel Reyes called? Question number 2.
Uberleet dudes.
What is Hanzo and Genshi's last name? Hint, they are brothers. And question number 3.
Hijimoto Kwasata.
What is the largest selling single malt whiskey in the world? Is it A, Glenfiddich, B, Glenlivet, C, Glenmorangie, or D, Bowmore? Thank you, Ox, for playing, and thank you, heroes, for listening. Until next time, this is your host, Andy the DK, reminding you all that heroes never die.
Alright, it's not pronounced Glenmorangie, it's pronounced Glenmoran. And I'm going to go with Bowmore only because I believe... Okay, if I had to go based on quality, I would say Glenfiddich because I do prefer a big peaty Scotch. But if I were to go based on what I think, I'm going to say Bowmore because Bowmore has an easier to pronounce name and it's got a lower price point. So, that's my guesses. I have absolutely no idea about the first 2. What's the last name of these 2? I have no idea. Greg Hartling says it's Shimada. The Mancy Fadger says Scotch Watch. Now watch Scotch. Am I doing it right? I like this game. This week, in video games, Fallout 4, or Bethesda, releases the next expansion release date for Nuka World, and it's August 30th, ladies and gentlemen. According to this article, which I think is correct, it's going to be August 30th when they release Nuka World, and that's fine with me because I actually have a business trip towards the middle of the month, and I don't want to miss Nuka World, so... Now, July 26th is Vault-Tec Workshop, and that's next week. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. It's all happening fast. More details have been released about Vault-Tec Workshop. Unlike the previous Workshop-related DLCs, there is a quest involved with Vault-Tec Workshop. Now, the people who were interviewed said that you don't have to complete the quest to gain access to the new materials. You can still gain access to the experiments and all of the vault pieces by either killing the person who gives you the quest or refusing to do the quest. Yet there was something in the way that the person being interviewed spoke that made me feel like there are some advanced features that you won't gain access to unless you complete the quests. Apparently the quests have a sort of dark side, so some people may not want to complete the quests because it does involve experimenting on other people, so, which could be fun or creepy depending on how Bethesda does it, and knowing the way they tell their stories, it could go in any direction. So, lots of cool stuff. They have quite a tool set of interior designs, which is going to prove that every single vault will be completely different. But it's not completely related to Underground Space. They're going to be, the Vault-Tec Workshop pieces are going to be able to be interacted with, and they'll snap to other pieces in the tool set, including the barn pieces, so on and so forth. So that's good news. All right, what other news have we got? PS4 mods have been delayed indefinitely. This is just heartbreaking for me because every single day on YouTube, I get people coming up and saying, when will this mod be available on Fallout 4? On PS4. Oxhorn, when will you be able to post a video showing only mods that are available on PS4? And I really, really want to be able to answer it. But according to this article by Design Trend, Bethesda keeps postponing the launch date of PS4 mods due to what they say are third-party complications. Basically, they're saying that Sony, well, they're not saying this, so I'm going to put a little asterisk by this. This is my interpretation. My interpretation is that Sony is being difficult when it comes to what freedoms they're going to allow Bethesda to implement with the modding platform on for Fallout 4 on the PlayStation 4. I'm guessing that that's probably why this has been stalled and stalled until future notice. Usually when somebody says that it has been paused indefinitely or postponed indefinitely, that's a euphemism for it's never coming out. And I hope that that's not the case. I hate to report bad news here on Scotch and Smoke Rings, but everything that we're reading is just not encouraging when it comes to mods on the PlayStation 4. And that is frustratingly heartbreaking. But you know what? People respond to consumers. Businesses respond to consumers. And I'm not instigating a boycott or anything like that. I don't even have the power to do something like that. I am just saying that vote with your dollar. If you're that upset about no mods on PS4, then both Sony and Bethesda need to be told that by how you spend your dollar. And if it becomes that big of a deal, then they'll make changes necessary to accommodate their users. Justin Kazaja says, my girlfriend just slapped me hard out of anger. More bad news, please. She's a keeper. She's a keeper. Matt Daly says, so are they going to do the same thing for Skyrim? I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read anything on that, so I honestly am not the best one to say. But if they can't do it for Fallout 4, a newer game, then why would they do it for Skyrim? So, I don't know. That's just really bad news, and I'm sorry to have to say this. Creeper says maybe they're worried that modders will try to cross the gap and be friends with Sony players. There are a lot of modders who are friends with Sony players. The Bancy Fadger says, Blizzard released a neat animation about the origins of Gul'dan in preparation for the new expansion. As a casual Warcraft fan, I think you'll enjoy it. I probably would, so he says that he posted it to the Facebook group, so if those of you want to see the animation, head on over to facebook.com/groups/Oxhorn. You can join our Facebook group and check out all the cool content that other fans will post there. Cigarlock says more viewers are turning onto the show since Trump is supposedly talking presidential right now. That's right, we are broadcasting during the Republican National Convention, aren't we? I believe Trump is on stage right now. Who knows, maybe something newsworthy and groundbreaking will occur while we're doing this program. But you know what? Here I sit with scotch in one hand and a cigar in the other, amongst some of the finest people on the internet. Why would I want to be anywhere else? Let's just stay here and have a classy time, ladies and gentlemen. More news about Vault-Tec Workshop. When you hit level 20, you're going to get a distress beacon. It'll flash up on your map, though all the quest levels for the DLC are at or around level 35. So you can get the quest at level 20, but your best bet of... Wow, what is with my camera? Sorry about that. The camera I'm using for YouTube is not very good. Why is it blurring like that? Gosh. Anyway, so your best bet to complete the quest is to be a level 35 or above. So pro tip from Oxhorn, that's what you should expect. Bancy Badger says, Oxhorn 2016. Yes, if I were to run for president, I would establish freedom and justice for all. And I would smoke cigars from the Oval Office, and that's all I would smoke. I can't think about anything else that I would do. Any sweeping reforms? Maybe I would ban Tumblr. That's about it. Jay Clark says, what's your favorite game? Fallout 4, of course. At least now. I mean, I can't think about anything else but Fallout 4. That said, I'm really enjoying Overwatch. I haven't played a game like Overwatch since 2008 when I was really into Team Fortress 2. And I typically don't like games like Overwatch, but I'm really enjoying this one. That's about it. Deadly Drew is giving us the answers to his questions. The answer to question number 1 was Blackwatch, which was led by Gabriel Reyes. So the syndicate in Overwatch is called Blackwatch. Number 2, Genji Shimada and Hanzo Shimada. So Shimada is the last name shared by Genji and Hanzo. And number 3 is the Shivas brothers had announced that after selling more than 1 million cases in 2014, that Glenlivet has become the world's #1 single malt Scotch whiskey brand. According to Shivas brothers, the Glenlivet brand is now the world's #1 single malt by volume. I was wrong. Wow, Glenlivet. It's a tasty Scotch. I can't deny. It's great. Nebraska Ball says, build a wall around Tumblr. Now that is a wall I can get behind. Or get in front of. I don't know which way it goes. What side of the wall are you supposed to be on? Have you played Half-Life, says Jay Clark. I played Half-Life 2. I got it in the orange box way back in 2008. I'm showing how old I am and how few games I actually play. But I played Half-Life 2, and that was an inspiration to me. I really enjoyed Half-Life 2. Preston Garvey says, do you own any guns in real life? I did when I was a kid. I was in the Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout, don't you know? And back in the day, boy, I could shoot 5 shots under a dime at 50 yards. I had excellent marksmanship because I had to get my rifleman merit badge, ladies and gentlemen. Important stuff. But since I've become an adult, I don't own a gun. I've considered owning a gun. I probably should. Now that I'm a father with kids, I should probably get one, huh? Maybe one of these days. I don't know. Creeper King says, don't stand in front or behind the wall. Stand on top of it. Show it who's boss. Oh, man. You guys are clever. I got to give you that. Cigarak says, and Oxhorn will bring back premium cigars back to the public from the low IQ people of the FDA. Vote Oxhorn in 2020. That's right. My platform will be Scotch and cigars. And walls around Tumblr. Oh my god, I'm a horrible human being. Skeletor is in the chat. Hi there, Skeletor. Pleasure to have you on the program. The Apex Predator says, hey, I love your videos. Well, hey, I'm glad that you're on the show today. I hope Half-Life 3 comes out, says Jay Clark. I hope so, too. It has been a long, long, long time coming. It's one of those things that have become urban legend. So, I don't know. It's one of those things where there's so much hype about Half-Life 3 that if it ever comes out, it will undoubtedly disappoint everybody. Because expectations have been set so high for that game. And I think that's probably part of the reason that Valve has not come forward with Half-Life 3. I mean, they know it's going to sell well, but I don't think they want to produce a game that is going to disappoint. And how can you not disappoint people who've been waiting all these years for Half-Life 3? I don't know. That's just my guess as to why it's taken them so long. Yuki Fox says, hey Oxhorn, I've been playing Fallout 4, and I love using mods, but I have restarted my progress 6 times now due to mods breaking save games. How do you keep your game save going with all the mods that you test? Great question, and it gets complicated, but let me tell you what I do. I install a mod, and then I load a game save, and I run around the world testing it out. So, for example, if I install a mod that changes the way settlers look, move, function, or anything like that, I'll kind of test the heck out of all of those scripts. For example, I recently reviewed a bathroom mod that allows you to build toilets and all of that, and it changed a number of things, including camera angles when interacting with toilets. So I installed the mod, I loaded a game save, and then I just tested all the camera angles, tested every single item to make sure it worked, and when my game didn't break, only then did I feel comfortable enough to save. If you install a mod, and you test it and it breaks your game, you can always uninstall it and load that game save before you installed the mod, and nothing will get broken. That way you can resurrect previous game saves. There was only one time I installed a mod where I actually lost work, and that was recently. I installed the unofficial Fallout 4 patch, and there was a settlement bug where settlers would constantly change clothes and change outfits. They would kind of spawn and respawn, and it also dramatically hit your FPS in town. And the mod authors discovered the bug. It had to do with an unannounced update that Bethesda had in patch 1.6, and they made the fix, but not before, you know, hundreds if not thousands of people had installed the patch and had numerous game saves after that. So I lost about 4 hours of work, but thankfully I got it all back. I was working on Oberland Station at the time. Seminole Gamer asks if that problem with the unofficial Fallout 4 patch has been fixed. It has been fixed, but even if you upgrade to the new patch, you're still going to have a problem with your old settlements, unless you kill all those settlers or load a previous game save. And I opted to load a previous game save. Madman Max says Legion comes out one day after I go back to work after my holiday. I'm silently screaming. Is there any way you can call your boss and say, hey, actually, family obligations have changed. I need to push my holiday up a bit. That way you can play the game while you're on holiday, right? Skelter says, how are you doing today, Oxhorn? I'm doing very well. I've had a long day, but it's been a good day. I've had a lot of meetings today. I think I was in 4 different meetings today, which I can't complain about. My bosses, they have more meetings than I do. But just a whole lot of information flowing around the head, so it was good. When 6 o'clock hit, I could turn off my work chat and just smoke a cigar and drink some scotch with all of you fine ladies and gentlemen. So this is the highlight of my day. Thank you. Fiod says, sick day. There is that. You could say, oh man, Dear boss, oh man, I'm feeling so horrible today. A cough, a cough. I just really need the day off. Legion? Oh yeah, it did drop today, but that's just coincidental. I'm just really sick. Oh look, my tongue is turning purple. See ya. Pro tip from Oxhorn. Zenith Core says, "Hi Oxhorn, love your vids and streams." Thank you very much. I do a new video every single day, and I'm trying really hard to keep every video interesting. So, wish me luck. Preston Garvey says, "Thoughts on No Man's Sky?" I haven't seen anything on No Man's Sky. Well, okay, so I know the name No Man's Sky, but I'm having a hard time relating to it. So sadly, I can't answer that. Let's Google it. Oh, this game. It looks beautiful. With just under 3 weeks before the launch of No Man's Sky, a new potential controversy has emerged, one revolving around a Dutch scientist's patent. Interesting. Maybe you guys can tell me the entire shtick behind No Man's Sky. It looks fascinating. It's an action-adventure survival video game developed and published by Hello Games. Well, I think that's a great combination. Action, adventure, and survival. The survival update with Fallout 4 has been amazing. I finally have a character on survival. I'm not very far. I think I'm like level 7. I skipped everything. I didn't want to do any of the Miniman quest. I just looted everything I possibly could from Sanctuary and ran straight to Diamond City. Which was a bit of a bad decision because now I'm stuck in Diamond City and I can't go anywhere without dying. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe my survival character can get his act together. Arcade Rex says, "Do you have any plans for your vault yet?" No, and that's intentional. I'm trying to keep my mind clear. I'm reading news here and there, but I'm trying to keep my mind clear of ideas because I want to see what's available. I want to see what I'm able to build with the Vault Tech Workshop when it comes out before I start thinking of what I'm going to do with it. I'm a little confused. Like, I don't know, am I going to be able to create unlimited vaults, or is there one specific place where I can go and create a vault? Like, is Vault 88 going to be open to me and I can create only in Vault 88, or will there be sections around the map where I can create new vaults? I'm not sure. So I'm just kind of waiting for the DLC to drop, and then I'll kind of figure it out as I go along. That's how I typically tend to do these things anyway. All for 17 says, thoughts on I Am Setsuna, the spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger. I don't have any thoughts on that, but I will say that I loved Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, two of my all-time favorite games from my childhood. I still listen to the Chrono Cross soundtrack when I'm working because it's so soothing and the music is just so amazing. So any sort of spiritual successor to Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger is going to be okay in my book. Chris Gabriel says, Fallout 4 question. I keep building the same sort of walls around every settlement I have. I use homemaker concrete walls way too much. Do you have any ideas to change it up for a bit? Yeah. James, by the way, says, did they set a date for the Vault DLC? Yeah, it's going to be July 26th. So it's coming up soon. Anyway, my thoughts on walls is I don't build walls in any of my settlements. And the reason for that is because enemy attacks are unpredictable. Yes, there are specific spawn points, but Bethesda only honors those spawn points if you happen to be in the town when it gets attacked. Or if you get the alert and you are fast enough to respond to the distress call. Only then will you be able to face those spawn points and kill enemies. If it takes you a really long time to respond to the distress call, what Bethesda does is they fast forward the enemies into your settlement in time with how long it takes you to respond. Which is why sometimes you'll fast travel into a settlement and enemies are already in the middle of your settlement attacking people, even if you have walls around your settlement, because the math ignores walls. Now, you could certainly build walls for aesthetic reasons, but I think that the concrete tiles that came with Wasteland Workshop are so kind of stark that they're only suitable in a few places. I really only use them extensively in my Boston Airport build, because that building was already fairly industrial looking. Skelter says, thoughts on Anna. When new heroes are announced in games like this, new classes, I'm always slow to adopt them because I want to know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of a hero like that before I decide that that's a hero that I want to try playing. I can tell you, having played a few days this week, that she's pretty impressive. I hate getting put to sleep. So she's tough. She's pretty tough. I think she's a welcome addition to the hero gallery. Nightlight says, seriously, dude, awesome videos, but the look, I like it, but what encourages you to do it? You know, people often comment on the look. I call this my set bonus. The hat, the beard, the suspenders, the cigar, all combined together gives me a set bonus of extra class. But anyway, it wasn't intentional. Like, all I do when I leave the house to go to the shop is I take off the hat. Like, I don't wear the hat. The only part of this costume that is not part of my daily life is the hat. Like, it's not like I suddenly take off the beard when I'm done with the show. Alright, let's put that on the rack. That's another prop. And the suspenders are actually really practical. I wear them on the show because they keep my pants up. I've always hated belts. Belts pinch my belly, and they're just... It'll slip down beneath my belly. I'm a rather rotund individual, if you haven't noticed. Suspenders are just so much more practical. Really. Preston Garvey says, watery Scotch because the ice is melting. The reason I have free stainless steel ball bearings for my drinks. That's clever, but you're actually missing out. And the reason for that is because the way Scotch works... I pretend like I'm an expert on everything. I'm not, but let me just tell you how Scotch works. The thing that cools down a glass of Scotch is actually the chemical reaction of ice melting. So if you put ice in your glass, you're going to have a colder Scotch than if you use frozen steel ball bearings or Scotch stones. I've had Scotch stones in the past. They're basically just soft stones that you put in the freezer, and then you take them out and put them in your Scotch, and they just kind of mildly chill your Scotch. They don't make it ice cold. If you put ice in it, the action of the ice melting makes the Scotch much colder. And also, when you add water to Scotch, it actually releases more of the floral tones within a Scotch, which is why many people throughout history have had Scotch and water. Put a little bit of seltzer water in your Scotch, that kind of opens it up a little bit, makes it breathe, and it's going to be a much more flavorful beverage. That, at least, is how I enjoy Scotch. Cheers. Greg Hartung says, Oxhorn, you just revealed another weakness to your enemies. Bring forth the belly pincher. That's true. I have only a few weaknesses. Hippies, hummus, vegetarian bacon, and belts. That's it. Those are my kryptonite. Creeper King says, the beard is awesome, plus 10 charisma. Wouldn't that be nice if in Fallout 4 your character has a beard? He's already got a plus 10 charisma bonus. Someone should come out with a mod for that. Preston Garvey says, okay, I got you. You're like a connoisseur or something. No. I'm what are they called? A polymath? Yeah, that's right. I'm the polymath of class and style. I'm a renaissance man of Scotch and cigars. That's what it is. Who made your profile picture? Asks Dylan Weiss. You know, I feel ashamed, absolutely ashamed that I don't know this. But years ago, we're talking like 6 or 7 years ago, one of the fans, back then I was doing fan art competitions on my Facebook page, and one of the fans created that profile picture that I use on YouTube, and it was so well done. I was blown away. I still have it up on my Facebook page, attributed to the appropriate author. I just don't know her name off the top of my head. But I was so blown away. She was so incredibly talented that I've been using it as my profile picture on YouTube for my new channel ever since. Really talented people out there. Really talented. That's one thing. I've always admired and envied artists. I am a bad artist. I have horrible penmanship. My mom used to make fun of me for how horrible my handwriting was. One day when I was young, PC software was coming out, and I'm getting all excited, you know, and I said, Mom, I'm gonna make a font of my handwriting. That way, whenever I type my documents for college, it'll be in my handwriting, but it'll be a font. And she turns to me and goes, why would you want a font of your handwriting? It's ugly. And I was like, oh. My handwriting has always been ugly. And so I always admire people who have artistic ability, because I don't. At least not when it comes to sitting down with a pen and paper or a paintbrush or Photoshop even and making something unique. Edward Bateson says you're a show artist or a showman. Okay, I'll take that. I've got great showmanship. How's that? There you go. I'm a good performer. I should have my own daytime talk show. That's what I should have. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the way this program typically goes. At the end of the hour, we switch to Overwatch. So I'll finish the stream and then I'll stop streaming on YouTube. But YouTube viewers, feel free to join me on Twitch, where I'll be streaming Overwatch, and I tend to play Overwatch with the fans. So go on over and hop on over to twitch.com/Scotch and Smoke Rings, all one word, and that's where we're going to start streaming Overwatch in less than 10 minutes. But for now, we need to blow a smoke ship. At the end of every episode, we end the episode by creating a smoke ship that did not exist before. What is a smoke ship, you might ask? Well, think back to when you watched Lord of the Rings the first time, and you saw Frodo and Gandalf sitting on that grassy hillside blowing rings, and then Gandalf whips out a smoke ship. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have mastered the art of the smoke ship, and at the end of every program, I give my art to you, based upon your ideas. So tell me what you would like to see in today's smoke ship, and I will do my very best to create it with nothing but the smoke on this cigar and the lips on this face. Yuki Fox is already brainstorming for topics in my daytime talk show. And on today's episode, next on Oxhorn, super mutants and the women who love them. Oh man, that's that's frightening. That's very frightening. All right, we have a smoke ship idea from the Bancy Fadger, and it's a doozy. All right, time to clear my throat. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Oxhorn and Company in an airship battle to decide the fate of the universe. The fans fly in to engage the enemy on a galleon crafted with the sturdiest wood by the craftiest of smiths. An opposing team of tumbler users were piloting a terribly crafted ship made from only hummus and hot air. Oh, that sounds gross. Oxhorn's forces were close to unleashing their ultimate weapon. Before it could be finished, Oxhorn was knocked off the ship by a stray avocado. Oh, another weakness of mine, avocados. I actually do hate them. When all seemed lost, Oxhorn vault-jumped his way 10,000 feet back into the air with a giant bacon strip, landing safely onto the ship. Can you envision it? I've got like this long, dried bacon strip, and I just go, oh, shua! Vault onto the ship. I can see it. I'm athletic, really, truly, underneath the costume. I'm an athlete. Ox then ran over to hit the emergency button, activating a laser cannon that then transforms the enemy ship and team into what they revile most, delicious bacon and classy cigars. I like it. Skelter says Noah's Ark. Including with animals, like elephants and stuff? All right. Theater Style says make a Minuteman General smoke thingy. So should I make it out of artillery shell smoke? All right, ladies and gentlemen, sounds like Madman Max says mine is in 3 parts. All right, you need to tell me quickly. The hour is about to end. Madman Max, feel free to type them in right now. Otherwise, we're going to go with Fancy Badger. And my scotch is out of itself. Let us sing a dirge to the end of the scotch. Make a sexy ox horn from 20 years ago, says James Nichols. 20 years ago, I was 15. I don't think you can be sexy at 15. Not when you're covered in zits. That's right in the middle of your awkward teenage phase. Madman Max says, as Oxhorn, Staghorn, and Lieutenant Colonel Virtue lift their feet onto some finely crafted oak stools, they hear shouting and screams of terror. The banana-wielding bandits have come back ashore, clearly missing some limbs. Nefarian flies overhead to see the destruction of our heroes, but this time they knew magic and physical attacks would not work against these undead abominations. They decide to use the power of music to rip them apart. Quickly, they run into the tavern that they had previously been patrons of and grab some instruments, a guitar, some drums, and an accordion. Stunned long enough to allow Oxhorn, Staghorn, and Lieutenant Colonel Virtue to harmonize in perfect musical godliness. Wow, this is impressive. Is there more? There is more. Okay, I'll keep reading. As a result of the perfect musical godliness, the float raises up in the air, and Staghorn's drums cause a storm to form, and it strikes Nefarian with a large lightning bolt. The lightning bolt causes the dragon's wings to start burning, and Oxhorn's guitar causes the air to swirl around the dragon, spinning it and bringing it to the ground. Wow! Oxhorn the Dragon Slayer. Lieutenant Colonel Virtue's accordion turns the large dragon into a statue, and the dragon shouts, "You may have bested me this day, but you shall not defeat us." As the dragon became solid stone, the heroes felt relieved. However, more foes await them. I'm going to have to recover after that one. Alright, both of those smoke ships were so good that I'm just going to have to create both of them. Alright, are you ready? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Pay close attention, because if you blink, you're going to miss it. But here we go. Wow! Wow! I amaze even myself! But that was only the first one. Here's the second. Two smoke ships for the price of one, ladies and gentlemen. In the first one, we had Bancy Fadger's epic smoke ship. And in the second one, we had Madman Max's resplendent smoke ship. Combined, they created two beautiful stories of smoke that lasted and lingered for the briefest of moments. I hope you had your screenshot button ready, because that will be worth money someday. Imagine Justin says, I saw the second one. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad. Arcaday Rex says, the camera blurred. Are you doing this on purpose? No, I just need to buy a new camera. That's what I'll do. Remind me. I'll buy a new camera in time for next week's show. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there you go. Smoke Ships of the Week. Thank you all very much for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. Remember, we're transitioning over to Twitch, where we will play Overwatch. So everyone on YouTube, please feel free to join me there. If you're on Twitch, you're going to see a brief pause while I recalibrate my system here. I will be on Overwatch in the next 60 seconds. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. And as always, we say here on the program, be sure, one and everyone, that you all stay classy.